Hello students, at the second phase of our online classes, now we are going to start the videos which will be uploaded at the YouTube channel. You have to go through these videos. Some of the assignments will be given to you. You have to solve it and send it back to my WhatsApp number within 3 days. Make it clear within 3 days. Okay. So the first video related to the second phase of online classes. Now I'm going to discuss one chapter of democratic politics of class 9. Okay, so what will be the chapter? The first chapter of democratic politics. It is what is democracy and why democracy. So before going to the chapter, we should know the meaning of democracy. What is the meaning of democracy? Democracy is a form of government in which the rulers are elected by the people. Okay. In case of ancient India, the rulers were not elected by the people. The elder son of the king became the new king. It was the system in earlier time. But nowadays, it is completely different. In maximum countries of the world, they are following the system of democracy where the rulers of the country, it may be president, it may be prime minister, the rulers of the country are elected by the people. One person cannot stand in front of the public. He cannot announce by himself that I am the ruler of the country. It is not possible in democracy. What have to be there? The rulers, prime minister or the president, are elected only by the people. Okay? So from this meaning of democracy, we will get some features of democracy, some characteristics of democracy we will get. So what are the characteristics of democracy? First one is the major decisions by elected leaders. Major decisions by elected leaders. It means what? Whatever decisions, it has to be taken for the administrative purpose and for the governing purpose of the country. It has to be taken only by the leaders. And what type of leaders? They are the elected leaders. That elected leaders will take the decision. So in a democracy, the final decision-making power must rest with those elected by the people, not by any other else. Second characteristics of democracy, free and fair electoral competition. So as we know, in a democratic country, especially in case of India, the rulers are changed after every 5 years. So the changing rulers of the country, it is related by the election system of the country. So the elections are conducted in India. After every 5 years, elections will be conducted, and from that elections, the rulers will be elected. And what type of elections will be there? It will be free and fair electoral competition. So how it will be free and fair electoral competition? So one independent election commission was created in India, which is known as the Election Commission of India. That election commission of India will conduct the election. They will supervise the election. They will take any type of decisions related to the elections in India. So therefore, we can say it as a free and fair electoral system. And by this system, the country is made democratic. Next characteristics, one person, one vote, and one value. So in a democratic country, one citizen of the country, one voters of the country have the power to give, to cast one vote. What will be the value of the different votes? All the votes, the value of all the votes, it will be equal. So it is not related how much money one person have, how much rich he is. It is not related. That means the prime minister of the country, the recent prime minister of the country, what will be the value of his vote? The same value will be applied to a common citizen of the country. He is the prime minister of the country, so his value of vote, it will be higher. It is not like this. One person have the power to cast only one vote, and the value of all the votes will be equal to each other. It is one specific characteristics of democracy. Next, rule of law and respect for rights. Earlier we have seen In a country, the country is ruled by the king, the country is ruled by some powerful ministers, but in democracy the situation it will not be like this. In a democratic country, the country will be ruled by law, not by any personality. Okay, the prime minister, the president, the elected leaders, we have given them the powers, but they cannot go beyond the law of the country, they cannot go beyond the constitution. What powers are given to them by the constitution, by law, inside that constitutional powers only they have to govern the country. It is called as rule of law. Country will not be ruled by any personality, but country will be ruled only by the law. Okay, these are the characteristics of democracy. Later we will get some arguments. Means democracy has some good characteristics and democracy has some bad characteristics too. Okay, but though the democracy have some bad characteristics, then also we cannot say democracy is a worse form of government. Now in this situation, throughout the world, democracy is called the best form of government, though they have some bad characteristics. So we'll get some arguments against democracy and some arguments for democracy. For means in support of democracy. So what are the arguments against democracy? In democracy, leaders keep changing. Leaders keep changing means what? As we got earlier, in a democratic country, after every 5 years, the elections will be held, and there's a provision that in every elections we will elect some different rulers. Okay, earlier Dr. Manmohan Singh was the prime minister of the country. Now Narendra Modi is the prime minister of the country. How it's happened? It is happened only because of elections. Elections gave the powers to the people to change the ruler of the country. Okay, and it is one of the bad characteristics of democracy. Why it is a bad characteristics? Because when the rulers of the country will be changed, during that time the political situation it will be unstable. Okay, it leads instability. Whatever decisions it was taken by earlier government, now the decisions will be changed. Okay, that decisions will not be in work, and that particular situation it will make the country unstable. Therefore it is called as a bad characteristics of democracy. Next, democracy is all about political competition and power play. Political competition and power play, it means what? Morality. What is morality? It is not related with the political leaders. Whoever political leaders are there, they will not think so much about the morality of the country, about the morality of the people. They will think only uh, as a political competition. They should contest at the election, they should win at the election anyhow, in any cost. Okay, morality is not a concern in this system. Therefore it is one bad characteristics. Next, time consuming. Time consuming means in decision making. When one decision it has to be taken in democracy, a huge number of people will be included. Okay, a huge number of people. That means whatever elected representatives are there, that elected representatives will discuss togetherly. Every election elected representatives will give different opinion on the same issue. So therefore the decision making, in decision making, maximum time it will be consumed. When one thing it will be discussed thoroughly, when different person will give different opinion on the same issue, so at the last part the final decision making timing it will be very high. So it is a time consuming. Next, leads to bad decision. Sometimes the leaders of the country, the government of the country has to take some decisions in an accidental way and in a very short duration of time. Therefore there is a provision that it may lead to the bad decisions of the country. Some bad decisions it may be taken in democratic system. Next, leads to corruption. Corruption, it is one thing of democracy. In democratic system, the political leaders are taking different way. They are taking some different steps to win at the elections. They are related with the money, some giving and taking policy also they are adopting. Therefore, after winning the election, maximum political leaders will concentrate themselves to recover the money which they have used earlier, not to the development of the country. So therefore, in democracy, maximum time it will lead to corruption. So these are some bad characteristics of democracy. Though we have some bad characteristics of democracy, there are many other good characteristics of democracy for which maximum countries of the world nowadays they are following the system of democracy. So what are the arguments for the democracy? First, democratic government is a more accountable form of government. More accountable. Accountable means they are accountable, they are responsible for any activities whatever they have done. Okay, they have to be answerable to the citizen. One decision it has been taken in democratic government, if the result of that particular decisions will not be in favor of the citizen, during that time the government is responsible to give the answer. The government is answerable to the citizen why they have taken the decision, whether the decisions was taken in a process of transparent way or not. That answer they have to give to the citizen. Therefore, democracy is accountable in compared to any other form of government. You can pick the monarchy, you can pick the any other form of government. Democracy is the best. In democracy, improves the quality of decision making. So earlier I told in arguments against democracy that in a democratic system, when one decision has to be taken, during that time maximum numbers of people are included. All the people are giving different opinions, so it is time consuming, which is a bad thing, which is bad characteristics of democracy. But at the same way, it is a good characteristics for democracy also. When we are going to take one decision, the time is consumed. That means the topic, the issue is being discussed thoroughly among the people. Okay, so when one thorough discussion will be there on one particular issue, there is no chance that on bad decisions will be taken. Always the quality of the decisions it will be improved because it is time consuming. Maximum numbers of people are involved in that decision making system. So it is a good characteristics of democracy. Provides method to deal with differences and conflicts. So in a country, there are different communities will be there, different problems will be there. Some of the people they are speaking Tamil, some of the people they are speaking Apatani, some of the people they are speaking Assamese too. Okay, different languages are being spoken in India. 1652 languages and dialects are available in India. Okay, so differences are there. Likewise, some conflicts also there. There is a conflict related to the geographical boundary between two states. Okay, there are some conflicts between the land boundary of two individuals. Okay, so in these type of conflicts and whatever differences we have, democracy is the best form of government which gives us a method to deal with those differences and the conflicts. Okay, in monarchy that system it is not possible. In unitary form of government that system it is not possible. Okay, what will be the next arguments in support of democracy? It will be the enhance the dignity of the citizen. Dignity means self-respect. Okay, every citizen, whatever profession he has, whatever activities he is doing, it is not a concern, but all the individuals of the country have their self-respect, and it is called as dignity. Okay, and that dignity of the citizen will be enhanced only in democratic form of government. How? By casting votes. Okay, if one labor of the country is casting the votes, what will be the value of his votes? It will be equal to the value of votes of the prime minister. Okay, so it is called as the dignity, self-respect. It allows to correct its own mistakes. In a democratic form of government, there is a provision that sometimes, rarely or hardly, sometimes there may be a provision that one bad decision it has been taken by the government. But in democratic form of government, what is the good things, that whatever decisions it was adopted earlier, it was not in support of the citizen, it was not in favor of the citizen, that decisions we have the provision to correct it again. Okay, in any other type of government, once the decisions will be implemented, thereafter there is no provision to correct it. But in democratic form of government, after implementation also, the government has the power to withdraw that particular decisions or to modify that particular decisions. If any mistakes are there, that mistakes, it can be rectified and it can be corrected. So that provision is there. So therefore democracy is called the best form of government. So in what is democracy, why democracy, almost all the topics I have covered. Some of the topics are remaining which are not explained thoroughly. You should go through your textbooks for your better knowledge. And now you have to try to solve some assignments. First, I am not writing the questions, I am telling the questions, you have to note it down. First question: what is democracy? What are the features? That means you have to write the definition of democracy, and at the same answer you have to mention the features, the characteristics of democracy. Okay. Second questions: mention 5 arguments in support of democracy and mention 5 arguments against democracy. Same question, at the same answer you have to mention 10 features of democracy, 10 characteristics of democracy, and from that 10 characteristics, 5 will be in support and 5 will be against democracy. Okay, solve these 2 questions, write the answers clearly with good handwriting, take photos clearly, send it back to my WhatsApp number within 3 days. Thank you.